Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is SubZeroExtabyte and I am shooting right back at you with another video today. Now of course we all know that sometimes we get annoyed in this game, right? I mean, we all have our differences and usually they are only short lasting and they never really get that much out of hand, right? Well, today is the day that I snapped. I am just done with it right now. Again and again I keep having these noobs finding out where I live and it is just driving me nuts. Now I have already tried training the noobs in order to make them respect me and know a thing or two about the game. Now that did not work at all, because that literally just blew up in my face. But today we are not doing anything like that at all. As you can see, I am in a little bit of a pickle right now. And yes, this is pretty bad, to be honest. There have been an unfortunate series of events that have happened lately that just revolved around me. And to get away from all of that, I thought that I might as well just go ahead and run. Well, as you can see, that did not pan out too well for me. Right now I am not even sure where I am. I mean, there have been some things that have happened lately which were really freaking bad for me personally. So I am just hoping that all of this will turn out alright, but I cannot make any promises right now. So basically, a little while ago I saw some cars driving by my house, like those really big black SUV type things that you see rolling around in FBI movies and stuff, and even in Men in Black. But I was kind of getting suspicious over all of that, so I started tracking them. I started noting when they came by, with how many people the cars were occupied and all of that stuff. Then after even longer I noticed the same people walking along my house, so I started tracking that as well. I mean, I noticed that there was something going on, which was bad, but I did not quite know what it was yet, and quite frankly I still do not have a clue about any of that right now. So to be honest, that is not great for me, but I have gone looking for answers. So I started sneaking out of my house at night and I went to see Doc Oswald in a secret location, which was definitely not the bathroom stalls of his lab. So please do not go looking there, Mr. FBI, if you are watching. There will be nothing suspicious right there. But as I started sneaking out, they had no idea that I was not home. I mean, I was able to do my research and get back home and start tracking those guys again. But it was really weird because they kept coming and coming. And there were more people who started coming and more big black SUVs and more people walking by. And even my delivery guy for my pizzas got changed. And I am pretty sure that he was one of them as well. So that is when I got really suspicious and I tried sneaking out again, but I could not do that because there were even people watching me from behind my house, which was really terrifying, to be honest, because I had no idea if these guys were FBI or CIA or some other government agency, which would mean that I would be rather in safe hands. But on the other hand, it could have been hostile domestic terrorists or something like that. I literally had no idea, but since I was not able to sneak out anymore, I decided that I should start working on my physical condition in order to beat these guys off. So after none of the escaping was going to work, so everything that I had tried up until this point just ended up blowing up in my face. Because whatever I did, they hired new agents to walk along my house and they started patrolling on a different schedule. Basically, I just had to try something else. So that was when I had gone the complete other way around and I just started planting traps everywhere, which again just ended up blowing up in my face, taking my house with them. Then I gave the training another shot, which did not work at all. And then after that everything got pretty calm again. But then people started stealing out of my house, and that is when I went into full defense mode again and I started hiding them myself and everything that I owned, just so that people cannot get to them. And as you know, if you do not know where something is, then you cannot get to it. But of course it was not really them stealing stuff out of my house. No, they decided to just enter my house when I was away to start snooping around and looking for stuff. So I really had no idea what was going on at that point, to be honest. But you cannot take anything out of said thing. Now that kind of worked, and that was a really good thing for me since that kept people out for a while after some time. But I really do not know why, to be honest. But that only solved one problem. And do not get me wrong, it did actually solve the problem with people stealing stuff out of my house, but it did not solve the problem where people were still coming into my house every other freaking day. So today I am going to be combining these two ideas of mine. One is the hiding part, and 2 is the house part. So since hiding the stuff of mine worked out well, I have decided to go out and make my house the same way. I am just going to be building a house that is not like any other house, just so that I can make sure that I do not end up getting swatted and stuff like that ever again. Not that I have ever been swatted, but that was just metaphorically. Now of course you were able to see that when I started making an invisible house in Minecraft and stuff, and of course I know that I told you guys that I was doing that to keep the noobs out, but actually I was just trying to get stuff done in order to get the FBI guys out of my territory. I mean, it was really scary for me, and it still is really scary for me right now because I literally do not have a clue about where I am right now, which is kind of scaring me to be honest. But let's just get to it real quick because I really do not know how much time I have left until my camera dies. And whenever that happens, I really do not know if I will make it out of here alive. And when that happens, I would not even be able to tell you guys. So I am just going to get done with this right here. I will finish with my story right now because that is the only way that anyone is able to make an end to all of this right here. So please help me if you can. So let's get on with it right away. Now we could not just hide a house. We had to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be camouflaged really well within the environment. So we would have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside of a rock wall? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with back then. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something was telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. So if you have watched both of those videos, so the invisible house in Minecraft and the chest thing in Minecraft, well, all of that was because of this one thing, the fact that there were people snooping around my house and I had no idea what to do about it. But I decided that I had to try at least something, right? I mean, I was not going to live inside of that house for the rest of my life, to just live in fear and all of that stuff while I could not even get out of there. That would just be horrible, to be honest. I mean, I could just live in that house for the rest of my life and sit it out, but that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods that this will actually work in one go and that I can finally have a good night of sleep again, because I will still have to get out of here and maybe then I am done with all of this. I mean, I literally do not have a clue about what is going on. I literally still cannot do anything about this right now, and it is driving me crazy, to be honest. I mean, I cannot even sleep well anymore, because the last time that I did not have an interrupted sleep is like months ago. I mean, since these guys found out that they could just storm into my house, they just literally started taking full advantage of it, and I hate it. I mean, how annoying is it when you get woken up every day at like 3 o'clock in the morning just because some FBI agent is bashing at your door? I can honestly tell you that this is not a very fun and exciting thing to be doing, but I guess that I will just have to go through with this right now, because otherwise I will definitely never have another good night of sleep. I mean, come on. It just feels like every day is getting worse right now. I mean, I already do not get enough sleep, and you should be getting enough sleep in order for your brains to be working properly. And right now I am thinking of a way to get all of this over with, and I am on just a couple of hours of sleep, and that is just not something that will work for me right now. So I had to do something about it, but none of that explains why I am here in all of this darkness right now and why all of this is so scary as it is. I mean, I cannot even explain any of that, to be honest. Even all of that is just beyond me right now, so I am not sure what I am going to do, because I literally do not know what I should be able to do. But I know that I will have to come up with something soon, otherwise I am probably just going to be a dead man. I mean, actually I have no idea what could be happening to me, because I am not even sure about the fact why people are trying to get to me in the first place. I mean, if I knew why they were after me, I could just go on and try to find a way to make them go away, right? But since I am not even sure, I mean, I literally do not have a clue, to be honest, but that is just making it that much harder for me right now, man. But I just cannot stand this anymore. It just feels like I am getting crowded in my mind and I cannot handle it for one single bit right now. So once I am done with all of this, I am just going to check out for how long I can sleep in one sitting, and I am betting that it will be a very long time before I actually get back to being in an awake state. So you could kind of say that once I am done with sleeping, I am woke again, and that would be making me a woke person. That is like insane. But right now my sleep deprived self is starting to get into something right here. Maybe building a house like that was not the best thing to do. I mean, right now I am just throwing everything on defense. So that was not a great thing to do, because that put me in the seat of someone who has done something which I have not. But we all know that offense is the best defense. So maybe I should have just been getting smart on the ways of these FBI agents and make sure that I'm able to get behind them knowledge-wise. I will have to figure out exactly what those people do and how they operate in a non-hostile environment before it gets hostile, of course, because they always get hostile no matter what we do about something like that anyway. So I am just going to make sure that I'm completely read up on all of their FBI strategies and their language and all of its stuff. So take some milk, sit down, and kids, get ready to learn. But I know that when I came into this place that I saw this one guy and he was wearing a suit, but I did not quite catch his face. I believe he was wearing some kind of a mask or a bag over his head or something like that. But he sounded very demonic and he started saying something like this right here: dragged you down below, down to the devil's show to be his guest forever. Peace of mind is less than ever. I hate to twist your mind, but God ain't on your side. An old acquaintance severed. Burn the world, your last endeavor. It was really scary, but it sounded pretty poetic to me for some reason. But that was not it just yet. He went on and on and on. So here is what he said after that. But I cannot remember it exactly, so I might screw up somewhere around here. Okay, flesh is burning. You can smell it in the air, because men like you have such an easy soul to steal. So stand in line while they ink numbers in your head. You're now a slave until the end of time here. Nothing stops the madness turning. Hunting, yearning, pull the trigger. And it was really scary, because that is when I got a blow to the head and I woke up here only seconds later. At least it felt like it were seconds later, but it could have been more, to be honest. I mean, I was down and out, so I really could not have been able to track time while I was in and out of consciousness. I am so sorry, you guys, okay? But when I woke up I heard this in my head. It was the exact same guy, his voice, and I could hear it inside of my head. I mean, I thought that it was coming from the room that I was in, but then I put my hands over my ears and I could still hear it. So I think that they have done something really sketchy with my brain or something. I mean, I am not sure of anything right now, so you know that is kind of weird for me, to be honest. So here is what this line in my head was saying, and it kept repeating this over and over and over again. You should have known the price of evil, and it hurts to know that you belong here. Yeah. It's your freaking nightmare. While your nightmare comes to life, can wake up in sweat, cause it ain't over yet. Still dancing with your demons, victim of your own creation, beyond the will to fight, where all that's wrong is right, where hate don't need a reason, loathing, self-assassination. You've been lied to just to rip you of your sight, and now they have the nerve to tell you how to feel. So sedated as they medicate your brain, and while you slowly go insane they tell you, given with the best intentions, help you with your complications. I mean, if that is not weird to you, then I do not know what is weird to you guys, but I know that it was really weird to me, and I cannot quite wrap my head around any of this right now, which is just really scary for me, to be honest. But then all of a sudden I heard something really weird. It was another voice, and it was not the man with the mask from before. It sounded familiar, and it sounded like a friend. It might have been Dennis. I am not sure right now, but it went on and on like this right here. And I know you hear their voices calling from above, and I know they may seem real. Oh boy, okay, that's not good. I think it is time to go right now. Let's get out of here, boys and girls, because we do not want to get caught by that thing. Excuse me while I focus on running and saving my own life instead of talking for a second here. I mean, I would love to be able to find out what is going on and all, but I really do not think that I can get behind anything that is the truth right now, so I might as well just leave it at that. So I will see you in the next video, if there will even be one.